Question first. Use the bar graph. This is your bar graph to answer the following questions. A is, which is the most popular pet? B, how many children have dog as a pet? By observing this graph, we can see that the tallest bar here is of cats, and that's what this question asks for, which is the most popular pet. So cats, since bar representing cats is tallest of all. Now B is, how many children have dog as a pet? So number of students having dog as a pet, this is the bar here. It is representing 8 children or 8 students. Therefore 8 children have dog as a pet. That's your first. Question second. Read the bar graph and answer the questions that follow. This is your bar graph and number of books sold by the bookstore during 5 consecutive years. And based on that, we will solve the questions. In the following bar graph, we can see that scale is 1 centimeter equal to 100 books. So this is the distance of 1 centimeter, and within it we have 100 books. So about how many books were sold in 1989? So 1989, it points to, if you draw a line, it points to 175, or you can say 3/4 of this centimeter. So you can conclude that books sold were 175. Now in 1990 is here, and if you draw a line, it is again 3/4 of this scale. So it is 400 plus 75, so 475. Now in 1992, so here's your 1992, and it is less than half. Half will be somewhere here, so it is 1/4. Initially 200 plus 25, because 1/4 of 100 will be 25. That is your 1992 225. Now second, in which year were about 475 books sold? So 475 is here. We have done it. So if you match it, it is 1990. That's why it came 1990. About 225 books sold. So here it is 225, and it matches to 1992. Third part, in which years were fewer than 250 books sold? So first, let's check where 250 lies. It lies somewhere here. And whatever the height of the bars is lowest than this thing, that is our answer. These two, 1992 and 1989, are lower than the point 250. That's why 1989 and 1992. Now can you explain how you would estimate the number of books sold in 1989? Well, in 1989, here is your 1989. So what we did, we measured the scale, because the scale is 100 books represent 1 centimeter. So we measure the scale, it points to 1.75. So it is simply a multiplication with 100. Unitary method, simple. So when you multiply it, you have learned in your previous chapter how to multiply it. When you have zeros in multiplication, you shift your decimal towards right inside the number of times you have zeros. So 2 times, initially we were here. So 1, 2. It gives you a whole number 175. So that is how we estimate the number of books sold in the year 1989. That's fourth, and that makes your second. Question third. Number of children in 6 different classes are given below. Represent the data on a bar graph. So this is your data. You have to represent it in bar graph. A part, we'll choose a scale as 1 centimeter equals 10 children. Doing so, we'll be able to represent the data clearly. because our data goes from 0 to 150, and with a scale of 1 centimeter equals to 10 children, we will be able to distinguish every data correctly or more clearly. So that is the reason. Now answer the following questions. Which class has the maximum number of children and the minimum? Well, maximum is represented by the tallest bar and minimum is represented by the shortest graph. So with mere observation, you can see that 5th is largest and 10th is smallest. Therefore, maximum number of children in 5th standard and in 10th standard, the minimum. Second, find the ratio of students of class 6th to the students of class 8th. What is ratio? It is simply dividing the asked observations. So students of class 6th, where is your class 6th? Here it is 120, it matches to 120. And of that of class 8th, where is your 8th? Here, when you match it, it is 100. 0 0 cancel, 2 5s are 10, 6 2s are 12. So the ratio is 6:5. That's your B part of question 3rd. Question 4th. The performance of students in first term and second term is given. Draw a double bar graph choosing appropriate scale and answer the following. So this is the data. This is your double bar graph, and the scale we have taken here is 1 centimeter represent 10 marks, because when we observe the marks, the range goes from 0 to 100. So it is better to take interval of 10 marks, which is represented by 1 centimeter. So first term is represented by this color and the second term is represented by red color. Now, first is, in which subject has the child improved his performance the most? Well, improvement is when does improvement happens? When in the next term you get good marks than the previous term. So the slope must be like this. First length should be shorter than the second, and wherever the difference is huge, that will be regarded as the maximum performance. So here it is less, it is negative. Here the performance has decreased, not increased. Here it has increased, increased. Well, when you observe it, this slope is maximum. This is representing maths. Therefore, you can say that maths because highest difference between first and the second term. Second, in which subject is the improvement the least? Well, least. That means wherever the slope will be small. We cannot consider this. This is negative. Here it is decreasing, but it is saying it is asking for improvement only, but the least. So this is the maximum. This is also not going to be. If you observe these two, English and social science, you see that this is the least. So you can see by observation social science, because smaller difference between first and the second term. Third, has the performance gone down in any subject? Well, yes, we have discussed it. This is the negative slope here, because performance was good, whereas in the second term performance got down. So this is your second, and that represents Hindi, because second term bar is shorter than the first term bar. So this is your fourth question. Question fifth. Consider this data collected from a survey of a colony. Cricket, basketball, swimming, hockey, athletics, for the particular sport we are watching and participating. Draw a double bar graph choosing an appropriate scale. What do you infer from the bar graph? Which sport is most popular and which is more preferred, watching or participating in sports? This is the double bar graph. Here we have represented watching with green color and participating with red color. And the scale again taken as 1 centimeter represent 100 people, because the people here ranges from 0 to 1300 within this range. That's why we chose 1 centimeter equal to 100 people. You can take it anything provided that it represents the data accurately and clearly. Important thing to note while drawing this double bar graph, that you have to always mark the headings, that whatever you are representing. You have to also write the scale. Number of people this side, and sports this side. You have to leave the gap when you start the first bar. However, you do not leave any space whenever you make double bar graph representing two quantities of same thing. However, you leave a gap when you are done with your first quantity, and so on. So the first is, you have done this. Now what do you infer from the graph? Alright, now we have drawn it. Now what we infer from this? We infer that most of the people like watching as compared to participating, because in every record or every data you can observe that watching is having longest bar, having tallest bar as compared to participating. You can see it in every case. Also, you observe that cricket is the game which is most watched, and the least watched is athletics. So that is what we infer from this. Now, which sport is most popular? Clearly, the sport having the tallest bars, that is of cricket, because the bar is tallest than any other sport. Which is more preferred, watching or participating in sports? Well, we have discussed it. Watching is more preferred as compared to participating, which is wrong in real life scenario. You must participate more than watch. So this is your fifth question. Question 6. Take the data giving the minimum and the maximum temperature of various cities given in the beginning of this chapter, table 3.1. Plot a double bar graph using the data and answer the following. So this is the data that we had in table 3.1 in the beginning of the chapter. When you plot it in double bar graph, it is like this. You again leave the space here. You don't leave the space while representing both quantities or double bars of the same data. A maximum with red, green representing minimum. Scale is 1 centimeter equals 10 degrees Celsius, and our range is from 0 to 50. That's why we took 10 degrees Celsius for 1 centimeter. Now this is temperature part, this is cities. Now first question. Which city has the largest difference in the minimum and maximum temperature on the given date? Well, again you have to observe the slope. Wherever it is more, that is your answer. Well, when you observe it, you found that Jammu as having the highest slope, or the difference you can say. So Jammu is the city having largest difference in the minimum and maximum temperature. Now, which is the hottest city and which is the coldest city? So hottest, where red bar is tallest, it is Jammu, hottest city Jammu. Coldest, where green is minimum, Bangalore, you can observe it. So Bangalore. Now name two cities where maximum temperature of one was less than the minimum temperature of other. Well, what is this question asking for? It means that you have to name two cities where maximum temperature of that first city is less as compared to than the minimum temperature of the other city that you have chosen. So if you chose first Bangalore and Jaipur, this is Bangalore, here maximum temperature is this, which is less than the minimum temperature of Jaipur. So here is your Jaipur, it is minimum. So this is what this question is asking for. Another pair we can take as again Bangalore and Ahmedabad. And you can see that this is the maximum temperature of Bangalore, which is smaller than the minimum temperature of Ahmedabad. So these are two pairs. Now name the city which has the least difference between its minimum and the maximum temperature. Now the slope should be minimum. Now if we observe that, it is here, Mumbai, because there is a less difference in both the temperatures. That is your last question, question number 6.